so another track from scratch video. Also today I will try to build at least the beginning of a track, create a few sounds. Today we will concentrate on the note repeats device. You will see this also in a second. And also today I will give myself 30 minutes to see what can happen in 30 minutes. So let's start the clock and let's start with it. I will start with the sound, I guess. Let's go with the polymer. Right, something like this. And then the note repeats. We look like this. We have a few modes here. I usually use the Euclid mode, the Euclidean sequencer here, which can be quite fun. So let's see what we can create. So basically the first mode will create a repeating sequence of notes, right? So let's go, for example, let's go with D. Right, and I don't want this to be polyphonic, the polymer here. Right, so basically what we get, let's go with something else. I will close the filter a bit, no need for pitch tracking. Let's go with the phase 1. Right, so basically we just get constant repeating notes and we can change the timing. Let's go with a higher BPM also. Let's go with 128. Right, by default, as you can hear, it's 16th notes. Right, we have also gate length. Right, so this we can also explore. There is also probability. Right, so this can also be interesting. And of course, there is also decay, which will change the velocity over time. Which can also be interesting. I'm not going to use it now. Let me just bring in here some sort of level control. And let's see what we can do with this. So again, we can... Oh, this can also be interesting. Just modulating the amount here a bit. Okay, let's do this. I will take a random source here, make it totally smooth, no need to sync to anything, it may be bipolar, and let's just a bit modulate this, and actually we can do this even more than just a bit, and then maybe also let's see what happens when I quantize this to the clock to 16th notes. Right? We get sort of rhythm. Yeah. Which can also be interesting. Let's add, I need some effects, delay, maybe delay 2, so it's a bit detuned also. Some send reverb. I have here, you cannot see this if I move myself for a second. I have here a send reverb with the Valhalla Supermassive, which is basically available for free. And it's quite a nice reverb. Right, if I take the decay up also, you can also sequence this. So I will sequence with the steps here. 16th notes, randomize this a bit, and maybe not 16, let's go with 10 steps. Right? Okay, and here another one for the noise, another steps. Let's go again with 16 notes, and I will take the noise a bit up here. maybe 32 steps actually, so it's double the length. Right, something like this. And maybe randomize here. No need for polyphony. 16th notes. Maybe randomize here the shape. Maybe a bit smooth so we don't get those clicks. I will duplicate this sequence here, the 32 steps, and instead of having it at the beginning, I will have it somewhere here, and this will bring in the sub. Maybe this a bit smooth. Maybe just to add a bit more crunch here, I can add also some sort of no, I don't want to add distortion, maybe just the overdrive here. Alright, something like this. I will add another sequence here. This one will be, let's say, with 7 steps. 7, no, this is not what I wanted. I wanted 8 notes, but 7 steps. And maybe step 1 will be an octave up. So if I modulate here the octaves by 1. Right, so what I did, I just modulated this just a tiny bit, and then I entered the value here because I wanted specifically 1, so... Right, I can add also some drive here. And now, instead of using the filter here, I will use the filter plus that can add movement also in the stereo field. So no need for resonance. Here even I can add even more crunch. Right. And this will add also movement in the stereo field. And then I will set this to 5 bars. I don't know, just so it doesn't sit. Everything is not together and sounds too repetitive. Sound quite nice. Wow, that was almost 10 minutes. Okay, let's add a kick drum. I'm still on 5.2. I'm not still on 5.3 Bitwig. Yeah, so I don't have the new drums. And let's do something like this. Maybe. Lower, and maybe as always I'm going to add a side chaining here with the kick. I don't, it's not necessarily to make space, I just like this movement in the sound. So let's see, let's take the out here. Right, and let's take care of the kick for a second. Maybe a bit more click. Right, and then with the delay on the highs, maybe also ping pong. Right, just to add. This is now a bit too low. Right, let's add also a nice bass. Let's go with the polysynth. I like the polysynth for basses, and also here I will add the note repeats. In this case, let's not go with burst, let's go with Euclid, with the Euclidean mode. Now with the Euclidean mode, basically we can set the length here already with the notes. So let's go with the sequence of 7 steps, let's say. Right, so this is 8, this will be 7/16 notes, that's what I wanted to say. It was D, let's go. Let's go with G, let's go with the G here, because maybe I will add also a sub bass. Now as long as this note plays, we will get a Euclidean sequence. Now in this case we have 7, but the length here is set to 16. Of course we can set this to all sorts of things. Let me solo this for a second, but if I set this to 7, we have now a Euclidean sequence of 7 steps with 2 hits. The hits will be distributed or set through the sequence as evenly as possible, right? Because we have 7 steps and 2, we get this interesting rhythm. Let's go with 3, let's say, or maybe even 5. Right, to have something a bit more interesting. We have here also probability. But keep accents, right, we can set accents. So for example, I can have, right, for now we have 2 accents. Let me show you this. Right, and again, this will act on the velocity, but in this case, I don't want it to act on the velocity. What we can do is if I keep accents, those 2 will always play, but I can add probability to the other ones. Right, so if it's on 0, you see, only the accents are playing. Let's add another one. Right, and now I can add probability. Let's say 50% that the other ones will play. Right? Let's see how this sits with the bass. With the kick drum. Right, now let's turn this into a bass sound. Last video we had the polysynth as the module or the device of interest. Right, so let's do something like this, add unison to the second. Indeed. Right, and what I like to do, I like to group this, Control G to group, and then add a sub oscillator just with the polygrid, which I have here already a sort of a preset. It's not really a preset. There are just 2 modules here, a sine and an AR envelope. So just when the polysynth is playing, also this will playing, and now I can mix it in. Right, without and with. Right, we have a sort of a sub bass. And now for the polysynth, I can also take the lows a bit down to make space for this sub bass. Right, again without. And now with. And now of course I'm going to sidechain this as well. Right, and I will have sorry, I will have a filter here for everything just for fun. I will have the filter plus, but without the movement and with a different filter here. Let's go with the silent key here. Opalach, and now I can open the filter on the polysynth here, and then I have here a filter, because here I like that I have also hit, or I can have also push. Right, and now I can add, let's say, will it get it? Let's see if it gets it. If I add an envelope, yes, it does. So I can add an envelope, no attack, no sustain, maybe no release also, no need for polyphony. Can add it for the filter. Right? Something like this. Add maybe also here a delay. Again, a ping pong. No need for the low frequencies. Right, this polymer needs to be a bit more tamed. bass. This can be kick. Now I know that I'm calling this a track from scratch, but I'm not working at all. I mean, I'm just working here in the session view and not in the arrangement view. To be honest, I'm not a fan of the arrangement view. I'm not really arranging anything. The way I work is I create my track like this in the session view. This was big. Why did I call this big and not bass? I'm not so sure. So I'm working in the session view, and then I record and perform the tracks live. You can see on the channel there are probably 10 or 15 tracks already that I recorded. And if you're interested, I can show you also, maybe I can show you once, like my workflow, how I really record and how I create work on tracks and stuff like this. If you are interested, let me know. Maybe there's a chance I will make a video or something about this to share the workflow with you. Yeah, let's add now another one. Let's add another polymer. And now we have another mode that was burst, right? We had the no pattern that we saw before. We had a Euclid. Let's go with the burst, which will basically create a burst of notes. And it will reset itself again together with the note here. So let's create something a bit longer. Let's say 4 bars. No, let's say 4 bars, 5 bars. No, let's go with 3 bars, so we don't have to wait so long. Right, let's do something like this. And again, we have D. Let's go with B flat. I like this. Right? Let's go with something like this. And now here we can select how many notes we want. In this case, it's set to 16. I don't care really because anyway, we have a longer sequence, but how many we want? Let's say 7. No, 7 we have already, right? Let's not go with 7. Let's go with 10. So 2 times 5. Right, and let's keep this polyphonic for now. I don't know why. But let's add some random pitch and maybe also random panning. So I will use the randomize device here, and after this I will use the key filter. And in this case, let's go with the... I wish I could select the steps. Actually, I can, because I can use the note grid. But let's stay with this. I don't know why. Velocity, no need. Let's go with pitch. Maybe just go up. Right, and a bit more. Let's go up to almost an octave. I don't like this. I think I will use the note grid for... I just want to select a few notes. Right, so let's go with D, E flat, and then A and B flat. Indeed. Right, maybe also panning. Oh, after the note grid it will not modulate panning. Oh, that's a shame. Anyway, I can make it here also. No need for velocity. And let's try and change this a bit. I don't know, maybe not polyphonic. And maybe without stain. Maybe something like this. Right, and then lots of delay. Before I work on the sound here, I will add just lots of delay with high feedback. detune, just so it's a bit more fun. And then, with each cycle, I can take the feedback down, so we get 10 new notes. Right, how many we have here? We have 3 bars, right? What was it? Three bars? That's 16, 32, 48, is it? No. We have 3 bars? Yeah. But that's 16, 32, 48, it should work. But with the feedback, because maybe instead of this I can add side chaining. Right, so first of all to the voice, but also to the feedback then. And I wanted also panning modulation here. Not LFO, let's go with random, no need for polyphony, bipolar, a bit slower or a bit quicker, I don't know, and all the way smooth for panning, maybe quicker. Right, and more reverb. And I will add more 1, 2, let's say, 1, 2, 3 maybe. Right, with different settings for just changing the sound a bit. Maybe this can be unipolar for the fall, then maybe add, and again here, maybe instead of a sub oscillator, it can just be the same level but a different waveform. This is nice. Let's go with HiHats, and again here let's go with 5 steps, and again a Euclidean. Oh, I didn't enter anything. And again a Euclidean. This is also nice. A Euclidean mode here, and again 5. Velocity for a second. Right, let's go with 4, and again keep accents. Right? Right, and modulation for the random modulation for the decay. Let's sync this to 16th notes, and it should just go up. again, random modulation also, random panning I will add also, but let's see here. Modulate the frequency here of the FM. Let's go again with random, in this case all the way smooth, no need for sync, and maybe bipolar. Right, and again I can add random panning here with the tool. Oh, we have a few minutes. Just add, let's say, random synced to 16th notes. Panning. Bipolar. Right, and again, I think I made it also in the last video. I make it always, all the time, almost. Add a sequence here on the project tab. And let's go with, let's say, we have 5 steps, so let's go with 12 steps. Right, this will modulate the reverb send. Right, so now every now and then we have the hi-hats going to the reverb. Right, just because we can. And the polymer, you know, I was wrong. It is a bit too often. So maybe I will make this instead of 3 bars. Let's really make this 5 bars. I like this delay always with the feedback always in the background. I really like this. Let's see if we can add another layer here to the kick. So if I group this and I add another kick, right, and then for this kick I'm going to add a filter plus. Right, and I'm gonna solo this for a second just so I can hear this. Right, and this will be, let's say, a bandpass filter maybe, with some resonance. And again, going left and right, maybe 3 bars. And maybe something like this, and again some delay, ping pong. Right, something like this. And let's see, let's bring it in. Something like this. Let's add some noise with another hi-hat. I will call this noise already, just so I'm not confused. Let's add noise and let's go not with the burst, but let's go with the normal. I will go with the normal, no pattern thing. Right, decay. And side chaining because it's fun. Maybe another filter plus here. And let's have this as a triplet. Right, lots of delay and reverb. Actually, you know what? Oh, let's have delay and then reverb on top here. Right, never mind now with the reverb, but and then let's add sidechaining here after the delay and reverb. Right, and add another filter here just to bring it in and out. Right, let's say every 4 bars in this case. Oh, 4 bars. Right, just to bring it in and out. Add a bit more send reverb. Oh, and that's it. We are done. This is this. Okay, that's the track for today. Again, I'm not really working in the arrangement. If you are interested, let me know. Maybe I can show you my workflow, how I record things and create things and record tracks basically. But that was it for today. That was the note repeats. Of course, there's a lot more to experiment, but this is it in 30 minutes. Thank you again for watching. Cheers.